Counselor Safavi?
Here.
Counselor Wheel?
Happy to be here.
Counselor Brown?
Here.
Counselor Gallagher?
Here.
Counselor Sheldon?
Here.
Counselor Blum?
Here.
All right, if we could stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we do have some sign-ups here for people if you'd like to speak. Please sign up, and I think there's 2 sheets, one for regular and then one if you want to speak regarding Chief Tovria. I'm going to go on to item 4B. I'm going to hold item 4A until later in the evening. It won't be long, though. I'm going to do 4B first, and that'll be City Manager. No, so, I'm sorry, Chief. You get to do this as one of your last acts.
Could you come up here, please? You have to stand very close to me, right here. Don't be shy.
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor, City Council, and everyone in attendance. You know, sometimes as a chief, you're called upon when things are going bad and you have to think of good things to say. Well, this particular occasion, I don't have to think about good things to say. There's been some people in the course of my career here at the village in the last 10 years that have been of great assistance to me, and I won't remember all of the names tonight, so I apologize immediately for all of that. But last week, or last couple of weeks, we gave a volunteer award to Miss Jen Diffendahl for all the help that she's given us with statistical data, and that was a lot of fun, and she's had some good times with the police officers. But tonight I wanted to turn our attention to somebody who has been very important to this police department and me personally. When I very first got here in 2012, then City Councilman Griffin asked, "Chief, what do you think about a police foundation?" And I thought, oh my God, I have so much to do. I don't have that kind of time right now. But we talked about it, and like many things that have to do with this police department, we never ever forgot about it. And so it took all of the skills that someone like Mark has to make this a reality for this police department in this city, and I think it's going to be a great benefit for both. So I wanted him to come up here tonight, and I wanted to make this official. He can take this to his office or something, I don't know, but this award is the Cherry Hills Village Police Department Police Distinguished Service Award, presented to Mark Griffin, with profound gratitude for your steadfast commitment and dedication to the creation and stewardship of the Cherry Hills Village Police Department Foundation, established 2021. Thank you, sir. You're welcome. Would you like to say something?
I have about a 3-hour speech prepared, but thank you, Chief. It's been wonderful working with you, but I don't want to take all the credit for this. It was a collaboration, our board, my wife Jan Harrison, Jeremy Abelson, and others here, the mayor, Afshin, et cetera, and we got it done. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay, now I'm going to move to audience participation. If anyone would like to speak about something not involving the chief, I promise I'll give you everyone a chance to speak to the chief later. We have one speaker, Laura Crispin, on zoning, if you'd like to speak.
Mayor, there are 2 sign-up sheets, one for the chief tonight and one, so you're doing the chief later?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Laura Chrisman, 18 Cherry Lane Drive. Zoning codes, okay? I will tell you that Paul has been beyond wonderful. Where is he? Oh, well, he was afraid I was going to come. You know, we were worried about horses and bees, which were prohibited for reasons that none of us know. But in this process, in order to take it back to where we were, I reviewed the old code and the new code. And the new code was a modernization that was supposed to kind of clean up issues. I went to many of those meetings, as I know you guys did, and it didn't cause me a lot of concern. It sounded like they were doing that. However, I will tell you that the new code has serious problems with it. And it's not just horses. And I'm going to give you 2 examples. One, I did keep going out of my thing, and Paul was very good. One is that, as you recall, we spent a lot of time figuring out medical marijuana and private use marijuana and how it can be contained in the home and how many plants, et cetera. Great. New zoning code. Under the new zoning law, you may not grow marijuana anywhere in the village, period. Where'd that come from? There's a definition of extensive livestock. The general definition from the federal government of intensive livestock is 1,000 head within, it's quite a small area, it might be an acre. Excuse me, it's not head, it's units, so cow and calf, pig and piglets. So when someone wrote the code, they said there's you cannot have extensive livestock in agricultural use. They then redefined extensive livestock to be 1 animal per acre. So you can have 1 chicken. You can't have a bee, so you can't have 1 bee. No 1 bees. But you can have 1 chicken. You can have 1 llama. You could have 1 horse. Where did this come from? Paul doesn't know where it came from. I don't know where it came from. And that is one of many. Another one that I know members of our community are concerned about, because they're calling me, is where did the guest house stuff come from? And why haven't we had a discussion on guest houses? And why can you build, including basement, a 4,000 square foot guest house that goes 35 feet high? So there's a lot of things that are not minor. And it's not fair. Paul and Ethan have been working like dogs trying to identify all of the issues that they don't understand and what seems to be inconsistent. And it's not a good use of their time. I mean, they've done a lot, but you can't fix this piecemeal. So I can fix the horse thing, and I can fix the bee thing, but I would like to talk to council and to planning and zoning a little more about bees, chickens, and horses before I do that. But there's a lot of other things that I'm very concerned about that were not minor changes. And I went to those meetings too, and all I heard were minor changes. Oh, by the way, you cannot have intensive aquaculture in the village. That's 100,000 pounds of fish a year. Why do we even have that in the code? Unless somebody's actually worried about it. So that's really what I want to say, because I will tell you that that Paul and Ethan, I think, are really doing an exceptional job. But this is not a good use of their time. So that's all I have, and I'll update you on horses and bees at another time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Christman. Any other reports? Now, move on to the next item, reports from boards, commissions. Don't see any. Next item, 7A, consent agenda, approval of minutes.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Item 10A, boards and commission members, that would be City Clerk Gillespie.
Good evening, Mayor Stewart, members of City Council. Staff is asking for a little bit of council direction tonight about several board and commission member terms that are coming up in May. There's a table in the memo showing that most of these members have expressed desire to be reappointed, and so staff is asking for direction on that. There's only one where the attendance record was a little low, and staff has contacted that member and confirmed that they've reaffirmed their commitment to attending meetings. There is one member that does not wish to be reappointed, so we will have a vacancy on the Art Commission, and so staff is asking for 2 members of council to assist with that process, reviewing applications and doing interviews and making recommendations. And staff's happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Laura or direction? What's the pleasure of council?
I'm comfortable moving forward with all these reappointments.
But we do have one that does not wish to be reappointed, so we would need to recruit for that as well. Okay.
And I'd like to at least point out to those who are in the room who are on some of our boards, Rob Eber, thank you for your service on these boards, and anyone else who I've missed that are on boards in the room, and for your stellar attendance record as well.
Okay, do you have a direction?
Do we have any council members who would like to assist staff with the vacancy? Randy, great. Can review applications and such. Anyone else? Thanks. Katie? Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, next, we are actually going to, unless there's, without objection from council, pass over reports tonight and get on to the chief's presentation. I'd like to start off that presentation with a proclamation. It's very nicely done and nicely written by our staff. And just that proclaims today as Michelle Tovria Day. So, whereas Michelle Tovry has served as the Chief of Police of Cherry Hills Village since April of 2012, and whereas Chief Tovria has served almost 39 years in law enforcement, and whereas Chief Tovria has overseen many accomplishments during her tenure as Chief of Police of Cherry Hills Village, including reducing crime, participating in national night out events, drug take-back events, city special events, HOA meetings, faith-based community meetings, and the Cherry Hills Land Preserve Barn Tour, coordinating with national regional organizations, providing service to sister jurisdictions in line of duty funerals, providing services for dignitary visits, safety drills for schools in the village, assisting sister jurisdictions with promotional processes, continued training for officers, including critical incident training, FBI leadership classes, in-service firearms, defensive tactics, driving simulator, and legal updates, assisting neighborhood jurisdictions during the shooting incident at Arapahoe High School in 2013, achieving state accreditation since 2013, establishing the School Resource Officer Program in 2013, managing multiple agency collaborations for the 2014 BMW Championship Golf Tournament at Cherry Hills Village Country Club, keeping residents safe during the June 2015 flood, reinstituting and enhancing the motorcycle unit in 2016, developing, designing, and providing training for all city employees regarding emergency situations in 2016, supervising 2 significant death investigations in 2017, seeing the community and the department through the officer shooting during a home invasion in 2018, publishing the community crime map in 2019, implementing the new records management system in 2019, modifying service and plans to meet the challenge of COVID-19 in 2020, and partnering with Metro Crime Stoppers and United Data Connect to achieve an arrest in the 1981 cold case homicide of village resident Sylvia Quayle in 2021, which I understand is at trial now, currently, as we speak. And whereas Chief has served in a manner which embodies the mission of Cherry Hills Village Police Department to promote strong community partnerships while providing courteous, professional, and ethical police service. Now, therefore, the City Council of Cherry Hills Village recognizes and honors Michelle for her outstanding leadership and public service while making Cherry Hills Village a safe and strong community, and proclaims March 1st, 2022 as Michelle Tovry Day in the city of Cherry Hills Village. Presented at the regular City Council meeting this first day of March 2022. But wait, there's more. So, I would like the council now to give a chance to council to say a few words, if you wish, about the chief, and starting with down the line.
Chief, well, thank you for your service. I've known you for the past 4 years, and I think what speaks highly of how well you've done for this community is the officers you trained, because obviously we have not had any contact with anything where we needed your services, but your officers have been very responsive, and I think that that's well reflected in the service that you've given us. So I want to thank you.
Chief, in addition to a fabulous job you've done here for our village for the last decade, I wanted to tell a story that you and I shared together to the rest of everyone here tonight. Before I was on city council, and we had not met before, my dad was ailing. He was starting to get sick with dementia, and he, as an ex-police officer himself, had accumulated a whole bunch of firearms over his career. And we didn't know what to do with them as he was starting to get sick. And so I called the chief of police in the city that I lived in, and I said, what do I do with all these guns? This was maybe 7 years ago, maybe. I don't know exactly when. But she said, well, pack them up and bring them on down. If nothing else, I'd love to see the collection. I'd love to meet your dad. And so he and I came down here. And for the first time, I met with the chief, and we opened up the cases and looked at these firearms. And she just gave us a little bit of advice, and she was very kind to my dad, who was at that time starting to lose his mental faculties a little bit. And it was really a moment of kindness that you provided to my dad, and because you made him feel important. And that was really a good moment for me, and something I look back on. I've since lost my dad, and anyway, it was a moment outside of probably the daily accolades that you and your officers get, and I just wanted to say thank you for that memory and that moment. For me, it's something I'll remember. Thank you.
Chief, I haven't had the opportunity